Charlotte Flair is opening up about a big part of her future, so we'll see what's new there. We'll also check out what's going on with Randy Orton, John Cena, and more. Starting things off with Charlotte Flair and the big topics involving her. As everyone knows, Charlotte's 2025 return got off to a very bumpy start. It was reported that WWE originally envisioned Charlotte as a babyface coming into her 2025 return. She was just coming back from a devastating knee injury that took place in late 2023. Made her miss the entire year of 2024 and nearly ended her career. So she had this big narrative building up there of overcoming this serious injury and returning to the ring. It really looked like there was some babyface potential, but there were some major things there that sort of set the heel tone right off the bat. Even the vignettes for Charlotte's return before the Royal Rumble. It was all about luxury life, fancy cars, private jets, and big yachts, which are all things that are not really relatable to the average audience member. So those vignettes already started setting the tone that this version of Charlotte Flair's character still wasn't a humble version. And then the Royal Rumble takes place and Charlotte cleans house and wins the entire thing on her first night back, which really enraged the fans and basically turned Charlotte heel on the first night she was back, really ruining the amazing babyface injury comeback narrative that she could have had. But it was basically the booking that turned Charlotte Flair heel without technically turning her heel. And once that happened, WWE had to adapt to the crowd reactions towards Charlotte. So they turned her fully heel on the fly because of that fan reception. But once this program started with Alexa Bliss, we mentioned how the big goal there could be to manipulate the crowd into cheering for Charlotte by having her team up with Alexa Bliss. Since the fans all love Alexa Bliss, they would have to cheer for Charlotte as well if they teamed up together. And that's what we're starting to see the beginning of right now. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss are officially teaming up at the moment. They get a little tag team opportunity at Evolution, and they're expected to continue to work together past that date as well. The narrative that Charlotte and Alexa are using right now is a classic one in the world of pro wrestling. It's the whole classic dynamic of, can they coexist? It's been done many times before. It always works, and that's why it's being used right now for Alexa and Charlotte. And it looks like the end game, if they stick together as a tag team, is for Charlotte Flair to use the team to transition into being a babyface. Charlotte recently spoke with WrestleZone, and she opened up about her true desires to become a babyface character again. She had this to say, quote, "Before I got injured, I was really in a groove, being a good guy, really enjoyed it. I was really getting the good guy reaction on live events. And it was like the first time in my career that I felt like comfortable as a good guy. I just went with it. I loved it and I was digging it. Then I got hurt, and when I came back and how I came back, obviously winning the Rumble twice, you don't want the Yankees to always win, you know what I mean? So that is harder to gain that sympathy, that good guy feel. But I do hope later down the road that I can transition back into that because I really do enjoy seeing the kids. And that's what it's all about, right? It's the fan interaction. And if it wasn't for you guys, we'd be out of business." End quote. And Charlotte Flair absolutely nailed it there, and even she knows. The second she won the Royal Rumble and that entire injury, sympathy and babyface appeal was instantly eliminated. And that ruined the babyface return run. But Charlotte really wants to turn babyface again, and it looks like this tag team with Alexa Bliss gives her the golden opportunity to do so. Also in Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss related news, Charlotte recently teased the return of an old character in the history of Alexa and herself, and that's Charlie. Back in 2021, during their quick feud with each other, Alexa Bliss had gifted Charlotte Flair her own custom Lily doll that was named Charlie. I was dressed exactly like Charlotte, with an entrance robe and her whole entire look. Not much was done with Charlie back then, but if Charlotte and Alexa are going to be a regular tag team going forward, it looks like that does open up the door for Charlie to return, and for Alexa and Charlotte to have their matching dolls again. Not to mention, this is another great merchandise opportunity, and they do love their merchandise items to sell, so Charlie making a comeback could make that merch with the younger fans. It's also intriguing because the longtime story with Alexa Bliss and Lily dating back to 2021 has been that Lily will one day possess Alexa's body, and we'll see basically a version of The Fiend with Alexa Bliss through the use of this Lily and that alter ego. So it would be pretty insane for the women's tag team division if Alexa Bliss eventually splits into that Lily persona and Charlotte splits into some alter ego Charlie as well. Obviously, you don't want to get too out there of all the spooky doll stuff. You don't want to get too ridiculous. But if Alexa and Charlotte both fall into madness with alter egos, it would be scary for the rest of the division to manage and deal with. John Cena recently provided another update for his final ever match that will be taking place later on this year. When speaking on the details of his final match, John Cena said the exact date, time, and location is still up in the air, and they're trying to figure it all out. The only thing he knows is that it will be happening around mid-December. No other details have been confirmed, which is a big change for something that was previously announced. Back in the spring, local Boston news stations announced that John Cena's last match would take place in his hometown of Boston, inside their TD Garden, which did seem like a fitting place for John Cena's final match to take place. Everyone thought that was the confirmation for his final match. But judging by John Cena's brand new comments in this interview, it sounds like Boston and the TD Garden are not fully locked in quite yet after all. So now the details around his final match are really up in the air. John Cena has been to a lot of major cities and countries during his farewell tour. It makes sense if the last stop is his hometown. So hopefully they can still pull it off, because John Cena making his final entrance with his hometown crowd being present in the arena sounds like the perfect end to the tour. Randy Orton recently sat down with Stephanie McMahon, and he really opened up about the struggles of his most recent injury. Randy said that in 2022, his back was getting so bad that flights were unbearable, and he would not be able to sleep at all. He was just in so much pain. That led to him taking that time off in 2022 to look into his injured back and get that back surgery. At first, the big word going around the community was that Randy Orton would never wrestle again because of how intense this procedure was. And Randy Orton confirmed himself that he really felt and believed he would never be able to wrestle again. And that was a feeling that ate him alive, and he said he went into a dark mental state over that thought, that he'll never be able to do it ever again in his life. He said this dark place made him to slip into that bad old habits again, but he had his family there to pick him right back up from it. And 18 months later, Randy Orton was making his grand return to WWE and has been active ever since. Randy Orton has said time and time again that he's looking to retire right around the age of 50. He's 45 right now, so hopefully at least 5 more years of him being active in the ring. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.